Hi, this is Jeri Warhaftig, and this is part 2 of encasing in our series of YouTube videos called Techniques 2 Ways. Now, what I'm going to do, our last video was swipe encasing, so I'm going to do what has been called coil encasing, and that's just applying wraps of molten glass around the surface of the bead. I've pre-prepared a little white bead with some frit on it, and I am going to take molten gathers and encase the surface of the bead by wrapping them around the surface. Now, I could try to do one big wrap down the center, but for this particular bead I thought maybe it was a little wider than I was going to get around comfortably. So I've decided to do 2 coils of glass that'll go all the way around. And before I melt these coils down, this is important, I'm going to add what I always call a little turtleneck of glass. And that turtleneck will be built on the shoulder of the last wrap of glass, and it literally hangs off the edge of the bead just a little tiny bit. And it's that glass that I will coax down toward the hole, down toward the mandrel. So that was the right side. Now I'm going to do the left side. Again, just a little gather of glass, and as you've heard mentioned in other videos, we all have a good side and a bad side. My right side is my strength, but that left side looks okay. Maybe it's a little thin right there. I'll fill it in. So now I'm going to direct my heat first at the center of the bead, and then as I start to see the encasing glow, I'm just going to move the heat so that it is directed up into the hole on one side. And that's going to cause that little shoulder or turtleneck of clear glass to drop down toward the hole. You never want to see the core bead get too glowing hot, and if you do, you can just come out of the flame for a moment like that. When you're using a white core bead, it's pretty easy to tell the temperature because the white bead will become clear if you get it too hot. And now that I've seen that the glass has moved toward the hole on that side, I'm going to move to the other hole, and again I'm going to direct the heat up into that little collar of glass. You can see that I'm on an angle if you look at the relationship of my mandrel to the torch flame. And that little collar is going to fall down toward the hole. Now, the one time that this technique is not the greatest is if your base bead is one of those dark opaque greens that tends to crawl up and gobble everything on top of it. And there are other encasing methods to use for those beads. But generally this is a way to get a nice little encased round bead fairly quickly with the clear extending down to the hole.